Call to order the Ironton City Council meeting for March 12th, 2026. With us for our invocation tonight, we have Reverend Hardy from Sharon Baptist Church. If you would stand for our invocation and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance immediately following.
Thank you. I would like the council clerk to make note that Saturday is my son's birthday. Greg Harvey.
Roll call, please.
Brown.
Here.
Haney.
Here.
Harvey.
Here.
Hawk.
Here.
Vaughn.
Here.
Scott.
Here.
Simmons. Here.
Next on the agenda, we have the approval of minutes from the regular council meeting of February 26, 2026, the Finance Committee meeting of February 26, 2026, Ironton Community Improvement of February 26, 2026, Strategic Planning Committee meeting of February 26, 2026, and a special meeting from February 28th, 2026. Do we have any edits, additions, or omissions from those minutes, Craig?
Two things. The special meeting minutes, February 28th, Marta. The second paragraph, second line down says social media, it should say special meeting. And then the last sentence, or next to the last sentence of that same paragraph, to accept the nomination to add of Steve Harvey. That's it. That's all I have.
Good on that. Those minutes will be amended. Any others? Seeing none. Moving along to audience participation, before we get started, we do have an invited guest, Mr. Kevin Wood, with Arcadis.
IBI now.
Arcadis now.
Arcadis now, I am.
For 3 years.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good, doing well.
So I think I was invited tonight to give an update on the riverfront construction that you've seen going on. I was here a couple months ago and shared the latest rendering of the riverfront, and I've got copies again here tonight. And this is virtually the same thing that I passed out, I think it was in January. But I'll just run through exactly what will be constructed, or is being constructed as part of that ongoing project. So again, this is the Appalachian Community Grant that the city received. So this is the part of the project from the top of the bank down to the riverfront. And I don't know, has anyone been down over the last couple of weeks since they've started work?
Yeah.
So I was there last week, and they had placed the rock out into the river. And that kind of shows you the outline. If you go on top of the container, it's a pretty good view down to see the outline of where that seawall and dock will be. I just got into town today. Ralph told me that they started sinking sheet pile today. I haven't been over there yet. But I know this plan's it's a lot of black and white lines, but this bottom part down here is where the black outline is where the sheet pile will be jutting out into the river. And then behind that is where the rock is now. That will be a concrete, on top of that rock will be a concrete dock with mooring cleats for the large, is it the Belle of Cincinnati, or yeah, like boats of that size would be able to dock there. And then from the dock, on the left-hand side, you can see that kind of switchback sidewalk or path that goes up to the top. That's an AD. These are all required to have ADA access. So that's a path that will go up to the upper level parking area where someone could park at the top and use a wheelchair to get down to the dock. And then there's the sidewalk continues along the top of the bank, and that darker line connecting the upper level sidewalk down to the dock is a set of stairs with rails for people to get to the lower level. There will be, I believe, 4 light posts along the top level, this historic looking light fixtures all over town along that top level. There is a storm sewer that runs through this. There's an existing storm sewer there, but we had to reroute it. We didn't want to punch it through that new seawall, so it's rerouted under the stairs and then out to the river. There is shown on here a water line with a flush hydrant down at the dock. And then to the left-hand side of the sheet, that kind of gray area, that's where if you come from the existing large parking area and go over and kind of take that sharp turn to get down into the boat launch, this is a wish list item as well as the water line. If there are contingency funds remaining, they will tighten that up. There's large rocks in there now. They'd like to have those removed and have that paved so that it would soften that if somebody is coming from that large parking area down to the boat launch. And then really, I think the only thing that changed from the one I gave out a couple months ago, the riprap on either end of the boat dock has changed slightly. And on the last project meeting that we had, it was requested that on the right-hand side or the upstream end of the dock, rather than riprap, that be sand. So there'd be a small sandy area there that people could access. So in a nutshell, that's the extent, with some grading, obviously, that will be done from the lower to the upper level. That's the crux of the ACGP funded portion of the riverfront project. Questions on that?
I do, well, maybe a couple. How many trucks with boat trailers can park in I guess, north parking lot?
Like the existing?
Yeah, like up, in terms of the wastewater plant.
Yeah, we're not doing any work over there
Right.
right now, so I can't say offhand. I'd have to look at that plan. Because I know on some of these other projects where we're adding boat, like truck and boat trailer parking, those spots are usually 10 feet wide by 45, 50 feet long. I can't remember, it's not striped over there for that, I don't think.
I don't think it's striped at all right now.
Yeah.
I think they have that challenge. I mean, you can have my drawing in one place or the other, but it showed that with having an adequate ability to come in an angle and be able to make the turn, be able to come back down to the ramp and things.
Yeah, early on in the planning for this project, there were several components that we looked at a year and a half or so ago when this started, including creating that turnaround that Ralph just referenced at the downstream end of that parking lot. But as we got into the details and working with the contractor, a lot of things had to be carved off because of budget. And so no work is currently being done at that downstream, that existing parking lot area.
If we have contingency funds, obviously we've got the turn there, but could we look at possibly adding more parking space in that area? If there's, obviously if there's money available, but.
Something that we're trying to keep in mind too, which I didn't want to be premature or whatever, but we got word that Congressman Taylor worked in $1 million to redo the first street and the interest and things coming up there, which that includes overflow parking, and I believe you drew an overflow parking force on boat trailers and things like that. Okay. Now,
That was one.
we don't have grant agreements yet. I don't want to be too optimistic because we haven't pulled back before with Congress and things. But if you get a grant agreement and through that, that might be, we see that as something that hopefully would be another component that we originally had planned in this area here, as well as trying to continue to look for funds to redo the ramp of
Good deal. Sarah?
Hi, can you give us like an estimated timeline? I'm excited to see.
Yeah, on the call we had last week, and I think Commissioner Haney was on that call, the contractor stated that they think they will be done with the dock and all of the concrete work of the stairs, really everything except final grading and seating by end of June, early July. So hopefully by 4th of July, I mean, it'll be, at least the hardscape will be finished. May not be grass growing yet, but yeah.
They have to be completed by contract by October 31st. Yeah, we have, and something, just to make note of things, you know, there's bi-weekly meeting, progress meetings on these. We provide access, we have a system called Procure. It's an internet-based type thing. Representatives from the city and the engineers and things have that. So all the meeting notes or whatever get placed there, all the current plans get placed there, and sort of like progress reports, withdrawals, and things like that placed into that. So that is there. People, we can provide access, you know, to access and stuff.
Nate?
Can you speak to the ODNR grant improvements? I know we had that grant also, where it's probably the playground area, where we're at on
Boards.
Yeah, and then I think we had set aside a 25% match for the city for that. Is that something as far as how we're paying that out? Where we're at on
See,
It's already closed.
that?
We've already- Yeah, and we ended up putting in more than 25.
Yeah, I know we had in this permanent budget, fencing, adding some additional.
Yeah,
fencing.
that's the additional legal things.
What, everything's finished on the ODNR?
from the grant things, we had to basically escrow that until they could get weather and things like that on the
Yeah,
grant.
so it's
I know
closed on their end, right?
Right.
We procured everything.
Yes.
It's being constructed actually right now.
And I don't know if we've
The playground and
monies, reimbursement on that yet or not, so I'd have to check on that. Once we got reimbursements coming, so, but that's a expenditure up front by the city, and then you get your 80 or whatever % back or whatever on the draw. But the playground equipment, I know they were over there when I was over there last week, probably 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, a few
It's
days ago.
in there, things, and the volleyball stuff, I think, sands and things like that is over there. Again, I'd have to go back and take a look at it. Some of that is kind of weather related, so.
So will some of the upper features be usable as we're finishing the seawall and things like that?
Yeah, so the contractor that's working in there now, if you go over, it's a mess, as you can imagine. And they are, as long as they're in there working,
Yeah.
he told me that upper level, they will have equipment going back and forth and stuff. And I would imagine for the playground as well, they're hauling stuff in and out. So I would assume that area is going to be kind of messy until at least they're done with this riverfront portion in June, until that's done and it cleaned up. So I guess the hope would be by July, that would be usable.
We had an issue, I guess spectators were getting over there and things. We had to call and try to get them moved and things, you know, for the trucks to be able to get up and in. So it's a challenge, and I don't know, I think that's something we'll have to work to tweak on to say when, okay, is it safe to go in without any prospects of interruptions and things, so.
Yeah, it's all fenced off now. I mean,
Yeah.
so it's clear, if nobody's in there working, it's very clear that it's closed off and nobody should be back there, but.
And for council members to probably have been on it and lived our nightmare working to get the Army Corps of Engineers permits. how many months? It was October of 24, I think, when we submitted them. And we got the permit
Last
first
month,
part of,
first week of February.
first week of February. They moved the equipment in the next week, so if you're saying, well, why we could not start while we were still waiting on the permit.
And they couldn't do any work on any of the riverfront projects last week because of water levels, but they were in apparently this week, so that's good.
And also to know on the budgets and budget constraints and so on, there's $180,000 mitigation fee that we had to be paid into a water fund or whatever I guess it's DNR. I'm not sure where it's at.
It goes to the Nature Conservancy.
Nature Conservancy, $180,000, because we intruded the river by that piece or whatever there, so.
Mussels and bats?
No, the mussels weren't invaded. We had mussels. We had to cut the trees down the road for the bats, but unfortunately, I got a little bit of heat from that too. But the good thing is, that was the bad news. The good thing is the state realizing all this stuff with court, they added another $200,000 to your budget to offset that.
That was thanks to their office
Thank you.
working.
The state's been working, the governor's office of Appalachia has been working very well with us, so if you see those folks, you need to thank them. Yeah. And this is just one of our 20-some. So.
Any other questions? Guys, thank you for the update. Appreciate you. Looking forward to the completed version.
Yeah.
And let's move to anything else here tonight.
Yeah, sign for executive session.
Okay.
Moving along to audience participation, please step forward, state your name and address.
Jim Kratzenberg, 2529 South 11th. And for Mr. Brown, I'm the private developer.
Yes, sir.
When you put a post out, you ought to be man enough to put a name in it, okay? So where you complained about that, I don't know how many phone calls you've had that it looks worse today than it did after I took it down. I've had 100 phone calls, said nothing but good things about it and appreciated it. Why you questioned it, don't have a clue unless you were upset with the mayor, you were upset with me because I got the property and you didn't.
Sure.
Okay, well, look, I've been a developer since 13, okay, commercially, hotels, big boys. That doesn't count all the houses and apartments I've built over the lifetime. But, you know, complaining about private contractor getting money for demo, that's who does the work, is private contractors and private companies. The city, the county commissioners, they're not developers. You guys aren't capable of being developers, okay? That's why we do it, okay? We take the chances. We sign on the dotted line, okay? What needs to happen is you need to sit there and apologize to the mayor for even questioning it, because it was legal by the Anderson's opinion. It's been that way for years, okay? And I'm going to put in a $3 million project. You didn't think there'd be any development up there or whatever. I'm going to put $3 million in that one spot. Now remember, I'm going to tear down motor parts, okay? I'm going to spend money there. So, you know, if you've got questions, I don't know if anybody in town that doesn't have my number, okay? So you can be man enough and call me or see me, okay? I'm very available.
Robbie.
And you know, Mr. Is it Kratzenberg or Kratzenberg? I'm not sure which. Either one.
Yeah, it's not private developer.
Yeah, okay, I understand that, and I want you to know, I didn't feel it was my place to name you in that
You
situation.
put it on Facebook and everybody knew who it was.
Sure, but I also want to clarify that I have no issue with you whatsoever. I have no relationship or dealings with you, and so I want to say thank you for investing development dollars in the city. I'm excited when people invest in our city. I invest not nearly to the scale that you have, but I also invest in our city as well through rental properties and such. And
I know what you bought up here by my house.
I try to make them better, and I think you do the same. So I think we're on the same page on that. I also want to just point of clarification. It was the church that I pastor that was at one point had a verbal agreement on that building. It was not me personally. In fact, if we would have received that building, that would have just created a lot more workload for me, which I would have gladly done. But I didn't have anything personally to gain by the building. So just so you know, that wasn't me personally looking to purchase.
You tried to, the church,
Yeah.
whoever,
Yeah.
tried to steal it. It wasn't very reasonable with the owner, okay?
Okay.
I know the prices, okay? I
I don't know what number you were told, but it wasn't a steal. And
Yeah, well,
and there were some tax benefits for the owner that he would have benefited from that because it's selling to a nonprofit. But that's aside from the point. Just to address the issue with the mayor, this is, as I've addressed council, as we've discussed different things around mayoral spending limits, that came to light because of the opinion on the demolition fund. I have no issue with the mayor. My biggest issue here is that our system allowed that to happen. And so to me, this is a systems issue.
it's a great system. He put $40,000 in the city's economic money for me to spend $3 million. How many of you folks would do the same deal if you'd invest $3 million? You think the city should give you $40,000 to tear a house down? There's not one of you that should say no. If there are, you're not very smart. Okay, I'll just tell you the way it is.
My answer on that would be no. I would think that would be my responsibility as...
Well, that's why you're not a private developer. That's why you don't do big business deals. I built the hotels.
Sure.
You don't think the city and the county helped in those projects? We're all partners.
Absolutely.
Everybody's
That
a
was
partner.
A very large project, and I understand that there are...
That's a large project.
It is, but the problem that I have is, and again, this isn't with you, this is systems-wise, I hate to see government funding spent in ways that benefit a small group of people. And because to do that, our governments are funded by taxpayers, right?
Anybody could apply. If you would have got the building, okay, or your group would have got it, you could have asked for the same thing if you wanted it tore down. Because it was in deplorable condition, okay?
I would not have done so on principle, but
why would you not ask for help when there are government agencies out there that allow that to happen?
and that's the problem I have, not with you, not with the mayor, but with the system that allows that to happen at the city level.
Thank you,
System's
guys.
worked well for years.
I wish more dilapidated properties in downtown Ironton would be torn down and $3 million investments would be put in there. So,
Well, I'm gonna
if
tear
you're
down
willing to
motor
do that,
parks and
if-
Little
if
Caesars, so
anybody's willing to do
glad.
it, what would you let us know? What's okay?
I
got
can't
you.
get out.
That's
There's a lot of
understandable.
rumors out there, but it's gonna be something very nice.
Well,
All of it is,
good.
okay? I don't build shitholes, okay? I don't do that, okay?
I appreciate
I
it.
put up nice stuff, okay? And, you know, that's just the way it's gonna be.
Appreciate you continuing.
But
to
if you got a
tonight.
concern, call me.
Will do. And again, my concern wasn't with you, it was with the system.
Well, but I was a private developer. Put me out by name, okay?
I'm excited to see what that block turns into.
Gonna be
Maybe.
great.
I'm sorry, I just want to make, for record, the Economic Development Fund is funded by the hotel tax,
Tax.
along with aggregation money, not from income tax or any other.
That's true.
And who put that in? Who put the hotels in? Oh, okay.
Robbie?
Also, we'd just like to make note, I understood that those funds were not coming from the income tax and such, but again, when we spend out of one fund, it doesn't directly take from other funds, but those funds could be used to free up funds in our other buckets. And so that's my
There's a
opinion.
lot of red tape that goes around some of the funds, correct, John?
Yeah. I would hope that somebody else comes in town and needs $30,000 or $40,000 to tear a building down to spend $2 or $3 million. I would hope you wouldn't get on his back and thank him for doing it because he's bringing business to town, folks. Okay. I could go up there. Everybody said I was putting Southern Exposure up there.
I'd have to check the zoning on that.
That and the casino, and I've had a lot of people agree with that. Okay. If you got any questions, call me. Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Grossberg.
Thank you.
Mary Chesapeake, the 1007 Karen Street, and I want to respond to that. Robbie, I appreciate you going out there and you ask the citizens. I don't have a ton of money. I didn't build anything in town, but my taxes are still here. I still live here, and I appreciate when you ask the people and the citizens what they think. And I did respond and put a comment out there because I did not know who bought it, and I asked. But I do appreciate when you do ask it, and you ask us citizens, because we don't get enough of that. And some people forgot about Ashland Oil, I guess. That's all I got to say.
Thank you.
Any other audience participation?
Hi, Rich Donahue, 2358 County Road 103, Ironton. I wanted to address you concerning a couple of the Memorial Day Parade and America 250 Lawrence County. Got a couple things I'd like to pass out to you. Each one of you just take one, pass it along. Okay. America 250, we want to, and the Memorial Day Parade Committee would like to thank the mayor and the city council for supporting the projects that it has this year and projects we've had in the past, especially for the parade. You know, a couple of years ago when the storm came through, the parade committee had the forethought to look ahead at preparing some extra flags to have that were destroyed, thank you, during the two storms that came through Ironton. The city employees took the flags down that were broken, but we had somewhere near 200 flags that were destroyed. And you know, the parade committee takes a little bit of money and they've set it aside for this. We donate those flags to the city to be displayed year round. And you know, that takes money. And just like this year, we work with Mike Pemberton to find out what's needed. But 2 years ago when those flags broke, we had them to replace, and the city was still fully covered in flags that year. So I just want to go through an itinerary of things that's going to happen here in Lawrence County, kind of on agenda. In February, we were supposed to place a plaque at Dean State Forest. If you don't know, Dean State was the very first forest in the state of Ohio. This March, the 28th, there'll be a dedication at Union Baptist Church, the Underground Railroad. On the 29th of March, the Ohio University Symphony Orchestra will be performing at Ironton High School in the auditorium at 3 o'clock. The project, we're putting together I call it the Bob Leith Report, the history of Lawrence County and Ironton in his own words. I just passed out a calling book to each one of you, all fourth graders in Lawrence County, Ohio, and the students that attend Oak Hill in the fourth grade received one of these books. And if you look through it, there's a lot of historical information in there about what has happened in the region and in Lawrence County. That was completed just the other day. April 18th, Ohio goes to the movies at Ironton High School. On April 25th, the Lambert Cemetery Walk, that's strictly looking at veterans and telling the stories of our veterans that are buried at Woodland Cemetery. In May 21st, the Navy Night on the Center Street Landing. This is a big thank you to the city because they've supported us in Navy Night. But on May 23rd, there'll be fireworks on the Center Street Landing. Mayor Cramblett, we appreciate your support that you've given us over the years for that, and we thank you very much, and City Council. On the 24th of May, the cemetery service at Woodland for veterans. On May 25th, as everybody knows, it's the Memorial Day Parade here in Ironton. July, the America 250 project, fireworks on the 4th of July in downtown Ironton. Anybody know when the last time that happened? It's been a number of years. That project alone is $15,000 that America 250 put together, that project on the 4th of July is $20,000. It was $15,000 for Memorial Day. So we appreciate your help and everything. The next thing that's going to happen we've got a contract on its way, drone show at the Lawrence County Fair. So if you've never seen a drone show, that'll be the first in this region. They've had them in Columbus, they've had them in Cincinnati, but a historic drone show. And if you look through this coloring book, some of the images will be reproduced on the drone show. Homecoming birthday party for the at the county courthouse on the 28th, and we'll have that same thing at the fair. And jumping through the Rowan, we hope to have Ohio Goes to the Movies there sometime in September, October. Ohio University Southern Festival of the Hills, is that correct? Okay, and that'll be on the 10th, I believe. And then a veteran service on the 11th of November. And lastly, the thing in Lawrence County that I have on November the 14th, we hope to have all first responders on the courthouse lawn on the streets of Ironton, and have a photo with those individuals. But the big thing is, I'm here to tell you, thank you very much for your help and your support, and all of the with the Lawrence County, Ironton Lawrence County Memorial Day Parade, and everything that you've done to help us work on America 250. It's been an expensive project, and we hope you have a good time this year. Okay.
Personally, I remember you came in, it's been months or maybe even over a year ago. You came in really excited and addressed council with this project. And just want to say personally, thank you. I know the work you put in a tremendous amount of work into all this, along with the parade committee, along with your committee members. So I want to personally say thank you as a resident of Ironton and Lawrence County for all the work you put in. And I mean, it's going to be a special celebration, for the next coming months. But just in a year-to-year thing, you do a tremendous amount of work, especially this year. So thank you.
Yes. I hope you enjoyed the little lapel pin that was taken off of what the state did. We did one little difference. You read down there at the bottom, it says Lawrence County. Okay, so those are personalized. Good. Sorry.
I didn't even know you were coming today, and I wore my 250.
Thank you.
We had a gentleman reach out about the Lawrence County Museum time capsule. Are you privy to that?
I've talked to.
Or Memorial Hall, I'm sorry, yes.
I've heard about it.
Roger One?
Yes.
Okay.
I've heard him talk about it, but I don't know what your plans are with it and so forth.
I didn't know if you wanted to kind of be a part of that also. Like I said, I know all you do, especially for the parade and everything like this.
Ironton High School is doing a time capsule, and they've contacted us to help them with that. So they've been very involved in it. The big thing is coming out is another book similar to this, the Bob Leith Report, and then we'll update the county courthouse book. But there's a lot of information, and it's his writings in his own words, and there'll be a lot of information in that one coming out. So I'm excited. We do what we can for the county. July 4th fireworks here, May 25th. A couple months apart. A lot of people will be coming in this little town, and they've enjoyed the fireworks. We have a very small budget, and we put on the parade. We spend about $5,000 a year buying flags, and that's our budget for. And that's a lot of the Lou Piles, the Brent Piles, and the other members of the committees working on it. They work very hard to see that the parade takes off, and we hope to see it. Well, I will be here, but I hope it's here in Ironton another 150 years.
It's always one of, if not the best event in Ironton. So
it's the best event in the state, and my personal in the nation.
There you go.
Thank you all very much for your time.
Thank you. Any other audience participations?
Good evening, Amanda Cleary, 1742 North 2nd Street. I'm here this evening on behalf of the community-based nonprofit organization Third Center. Most of you all are familiar with the work that we do, but for those that are not, Third Center is a grassroots organization founded in 2019. We are focused on transforming our community by promoting artistic, cultural, and small business development. Our name represents the concept of third spaces, which are spaces inside of our community, outside of your work in your home, that people spend time together. Our goal is to create those spaces through our programming and events that we offer. Our organization is funded through federal, state, local grants, foundation support, and community partnerships, as well as our fundraising efforts and our individual donations. So a couple of the programs that we offer is the Inspire Arts Program, which is an invitation for all members of our community, despite age or ability, to participate in artistic endeavors. We typically partner with other organizations in the community that are hosting events to offer programming there. Our next event is Chili Fest at the Open Door School on the 14th of this month, and that's at 10 o'clock. And then on May 17th, we will be hosting our crosswalk repainting event in downtown Ironton in preparation for the Memorial Day Parade. Our impact programs focuses on community beautification. Our Trash Bash event will be returning this year at Mullins Field on April 25th. Our newest initiative is the Common Soil Collective, and that project will be taking over the community garden on 7th Street in one of the residents. I'm sure you all are familiar. So we're really looking forward to that project of revitalizing that space and offering a space in our community. And our first cast youth fishing event will continue as well this year. We are entering the third year of programming at the Ironton Senior Center. In 2025, we provided 1,944 meals for seniors in our community. In 2026, we have received Title III funding from the Older Americans Act in collaboration with the Area Agency on Aging to install a congregate meal service program at the Senior Center. Now, what's so special about that program is the funding flows through Third Center as a reimbursement for each meal served. So far, in January and February of this year, we've served 202 meals. In addition to the congregate meal service, we offer community programming, arts activities, bingo, that's always a favorite at the Senior Center. We do chair exercises, also give them opportunities to get out in the community. We take them to Jackson every year. We also do the bean dinner. And just also give our seniors an opportunity to connect with local resources, like HEAP programs, the programs that the CAO offers, Department of Job and Family Services. All of those agencies partner with us to come in and let our seniors know what programs are available for them. So with the Title III funding, we're required a 15% match. So we've secured funding through the end of 2026. The grant cycle, we have to reapply in April of this year, and that will secure funding for 2027 through 2030 for our congregate meal program. So I'm here today to ask council to consider creating a line item in your budget, specifically under the recreation funding, to provide services for seniors in our community. And I'm not saying you always have to give that funding to us, but if we knew that we were receiving that funding, we would be able to write that into the budget for the Title III funding and secure that. The award for 2026 was $37,000, so imagine that multiplied on a 3-year basis and the impact that could have on our seniors, but also as an economic development stimulation for our community. We currently employ 2 employees that are residents of Ironton under that program, and if the program expands, we can potentially employ additional staff. So I'm happy to answer any questions that you have, and just appreciate the time.
What was that amount of funding?
Our current award is up to $37,000 for this fiscal year. So that was, again, it's a reimbursement. It's not like we receive that money up front. For each plate that we serve, we're reimbursed $10.38. So that goes to, of course, food costs and operating expenses.
Right.
Did you say that it requires a 15% match for you to receive those funds?
Correct.
Okay.
Per year.
Per year. Yeah. So to receive that maximum of $37,000, you all are required to match $55.50. Is that correct? $5,550. 15%
Yes.
of that $37,000.
Yes, for this year. Yes. We have previously been funded, due to the generosity of the Lawrence County Commissioners have, since we took over the program 3 years ago, a yearly $15,000 contribution. Last year it cost us around $35,000 to operate the senior center, but that was without the congregate meal program. It was a substantial investment for us to get the licensing and all of the things that go along with providing food service to elderly population, but we powered through and are grateful to be able to offer that to them now.
Robbie?
I'll just say, I've been able to come into the room there for those meals, and it's, I think you all are creating a great environment for our seniors. It seems, you can tell that there's a lot of fun being had in the community, and I'm glad to see that happening. So
They enjoy it. We enjoy it very much too. And all of those meals in 2025, those 1,944 meals, those were purchased from local restaurants in our community. So we didn't have the congregate meal service program at that time, so we were outsourcing the food from local food establishments and bringing it into them. So, thank you.
Yes, thank you. Any other audience participation? Seeing none.
Sorry, I forgot to give you guys these. Apologize.
Moving along to reports, there are none. Ordinances, Harley, would you please give ordinance 2614 first reading?
To adopt the permanent operating budget for the city of Ironton, state of Ohio for the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2026, and declaring an emergency. First reading.
Greg?
I'd like to mention that 2614 received favorable recommendation from the Finance Committee and motion to give ordinance 2614 second and third reading by title only.
Jacob?
I'll say that.
We have a motion by Craig and a second by Jacob to give ordinance 2614 second and third reading by title only. Roll call, please.
Brown.
Aye.
Haney.
Aye.
Harvey.
Aye.
Hawk.
Aye.
Klein.
Aye.
Scott.
Aye.
Simmons. Aye.
Rules have been suspended for ordinance 2614. Marta, would you please give that ordinance second and third reading by title only?
To adopt the permanent operating budget for the city of Ironton, state of Ohio for the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2026, and declaring an emergency. Second reading. To adopt the permanent operating budget for the city of Ironton, state of Ohio for the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2026, and declaring an emergency. Third reading.
Craig?
Move to adopt ordinance 2614.
Jacob?
Second that.
Have a motion by Craig and a second by Jacob to adopt ordinance 2614. Roll call, please.
Brown.
Aye.
Haney.
Aye.
Harvey.
Aye.
Hawk.
Aye.
Klein.
Aye.
Scott.
Aye.
Simmons.
Aye.
Ordinance 2614 has been adopted. Moving on to ordinance 2615. Marta, would you please give that first reading?
Authorizing the mayor to accept the aggregation for qualifications submitted by Straight Line Energy Consultants for electric service and natural gas service and declaring an emergency. First reading.
Craig?
Question. Is that time sensitive, Mayor?
Aggregation, yeah, as soon as we have a broker, we can start shopping.
For me, it's time since.
Yeah.
I'll move to suspend the rules and give ordinance 2615 second and third reading by title.
Jacob?
I'll second that and make mention that it received favorable recommendation by finance.
I've got a little bit of discussion on this. I wasn't real familiar with it a few years ago. Craig has taught me a lot about this, the aggregation program in general, and then doing my own research. There were times to where it was 3 cents or more per kilowatt hour. So the savings on certain months, certain days, certain bills were close to $100. Others it was closer to 40 or 50. But I do want the residents to know that this does save money. It gives you a cheaper rate. Depends on what the mayor works out with the Straight Line Energy Consultant, but the rates are a lot of times, 0.03 more, which ends up being 3 cents. Correct.
2 points. One, it also includes gas.
Yes.
Besides electricity. And second, the residents voted this in because this had to be adopted by our city residents, and they have the ability to opt out.
You have to call to opt out, but you can't opt out, but I personally wouldn't recommend you opting out, unless you don't want to save money.
Just wanted to make up.
All right, so we have a motion by Craig and a second by Jacob to suspend the rules for ordinance 2615. Roll call, please.
Brown.
Aye.
Haney.
Aye.
Harvey.
Aye.
Hawk.
Aye.
Klein.
Aye.
Scott.
Aye.
Simmons.
Aye.
Rules have been suspended for ordinance 2615. Marta, would you please give that second and third reading by title only?
Authorizing the mayor to accept the aggregation for qualifications submitted by Straight Line Energy Consultants for electric service and natural gas service and declaring an emergency, second reading. Authorizing the mayor to accept the aggregation for qualifications submitted by Straight Line Energy Consultants for electric service and natural gas service and declaring an emergency, third reading.
Craig?
Move to adopt ordinance 2615.
I'll second that, just a little bit more discussion. I believe, Mayor, am I correct, this was the only consultant that,
Yeah, we had it out twice, actually.
okay, so that, we want to put that in the meeting notes also, that this was the only consultant that offered their services for us. So we have a motion by Craig and a second by myself to adopt ordinance 2615. Roll call, please.
Brown.
Aye.
Haney.
Aye.
Harvey.
Aye.
Hawk.
Aye.
Klein.
Aye.
Scott.
Aye.
Simmons.
Aye.
Ordinance 2615 has been adopted. Moving on to resolutions, there are none. Miscellaneous, Craig?
I'd like to announce a PUC meeting for April 9th at 5 o'clock. You and Mr. Scott, I think, are the other members that work for you all, regarding stormwater, estimated runoff, and the ERU presentation from consultant.
All right. Is set. Nate, Nate's wanting to move the meeting? We had set,
I originally called a Ironton CIC meeting at 5 o'clock. I'd like to move that to immediately following the PUC meeting at 5.
CIC meeting following PUC.
Correct.
All right,
Sorry.
that's set. All right, perfect. Craig?
No one else has miscellaneous. I needed an executive session regarding personnel.
I had to hold off on that real quick. There's two things that I've got. One is to council. We have our annual, and you new ones, make sure you get this in a timely manner if I can find it. It is the ethics committee. Do you have that? That's ethics committee has to be done by Friday, May 15th. And now if you're late, I think it's like $10 a day that's like late fees. So make sure the sooner the better, but that's just, housekeeping for basically us individuals. So make sure Friday, May 15th, 2026. Thank you. And also, March 17th, pickup, or garbage, or city cleanup, from 8 to, what'd you say, 5? 8 to 4?
8:30.
8:30 to 4? 8:30 to 5. All right, 17th through the 22nd? 21st. Thank you, Craig.
I know it was on your
Well,
I've asked Terry 20 times, so that's okay.
So, 17th through the 21st, 8:30 to 5. Thank you. All right, Craig, I think it's yours unless anybody else has any miscellaneous. Raleigh?
I was going to ask, I'm not the chair of Strategic Planning Committee, but I wanted to see if either of the other members of that would be interested in calling a meeting regarding the vacant property legislation. We had discussed that we probably needed a longer period of time to dive into that. I had a couple of dates to suggest of, if I don't know if Wednesdays work for you all, if maybe next Wednesday or the Wednesday after that, we could do maybe a 5 to 6:30. So if there's another member that would be open.
Yeah, I think it'd be fine, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, take a minute.
Yeah, Wednesday, 5 to 6.
Want to say 5 to 6:30. That way we can kind of chunk out a little bit larger time. And do you want to do the 18th or 25th? Does either work better for you?
You just double check.
Okay.
I can't do the 25th.
18th would be fine.
Okay, let's do the 18th then at 5 p.m. Here in council chambers, good with you all?
All righty, that's it. Greg?
I'd like a motion to enter executive session regarding personnel, with possible action to follow with the mayor, the finance director, and the solicitor. And I think Mr. Klein also needed contracts and real estate with, I'm not sure who he needed, so.
I think, Mayor, can you?
Yeah, Ralph Klein, Kevin Wood, Gary Moore.
I need contracts with Rick Jensen also.
Okay. Contracts, real estate, personnel, all those folks, you give them money.
I don't know that I have
Which one do you need first?
well, so how are we gonna stack this up? Who's gonna take the longest? We'll get them possible action follows, it doesn't matter.
Some of these, they all can't be in, so we'll just do the ones that need to go.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Let's, suggestion,
Yes, sir.
let's do personnel with action to follow, and then let's make another motion to go into executive session with no action to follow.
Okay.
Can we do that?
That's fine by me. So I'll make that motion. A motion for executive session regarding personnel with the mayor, finance director, and solicitor with possible action to follow.
I'll second.
Motion by Craig, second by Nate to enter executive session, regarding, personnel with council, mayor, finance director, and solicitor. Roll call, please. With action to follow.
Brown.
Aye.
Hany.
Aye.
Harvey.
Aye.
Sauter.
Aye.
Klein.
Aye.
Scott.
Aye. We're now entering executive session with action to follow. We'll let you guys know, well.
Shay.
Motion to re-enter our city council meeting of March 12th, 2026 in miscellaneous.
Nate, second. I have a motion by Craig, second by Nate to enter back into our regular council meeting. Roll call, please.
Brown.
Aye.
Hany.
Aye.
Harvey.
Aye.
Hawk.
Aye.
Vaughn.
Aye.
Scott.
Aye.
Simmons.
Aye.
We are entering back into our regular council minutes. Craig?
Move to accept the resignation of Finance Director John Elam on March 31st, 2026 with the letter that he provided to the city council to make part of the minutes as well.
Troy. We have a motion by Craig and a second by Troy to accept Finance Director John Elam's letter and resignation. Roll call, please.
Brown.
Aye.
Hany.
Aye.
Harvey.
Aye.
Hawk.
Aye.
Vaughn.
Aye.
Scott.
Aye.
Simmons.
Has been accepted. Appreciate your service to our city, John. Craig?
Happy retirement, John. I'd like to nominate John Elam to be the Finance Director as of April 1st, 2026.
Troy?
I'll second that.
Motion by Craig and a second by Troy to nominate John Elam as City Finance Director beginning on April 1st, 2026. Roll call, please.
Brown.
Aye.
Hany.
Aye.
Harvey.
Aye.
Hawk.
Aye.
Vaughn.
Aye.
Scott.
Aye.
Simmons.
Aye.
Congratulations, John.
And thank you for your vote of confidence, and we sure have a lot of celebration to do in a short time.
Well, I was wondering, we didn't even get to have a retirement party here in between, so.
Oh, we'll have one of those. Thank you, council.
Thank you, John. Now we're ready.
Nate, you want to do that?
Nate?
I'd like to make a motion to go into executive session and discuss property and contract with the mayor, finance director, solicitor, Gary Moore, Kevin Wood, Ralph Klein, with no action to follow.
What?
Along with a second executive session with mayor, finance director, solicitor, Ralph Klein, Kevin Wood, and Rick Jansen, with no action to follow.
Craig?
I'll second.
We have a motion by Nate, a second by Craig to enter an executive session. List of people. Roll call, please.
Brown.
Aye.
Hany.
Aye.
Harvey.
Aye.
Hawk.
Aye.
Vaughn.
Aye.
Scott.
Aye.
Simmons.
We are now entering executive session with no action to follow. Thank you for attending.